Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show today. Hello, Erin.
Hi.
All right. So today we're talking about astrology. So for those of you who haven't been watching our show, for those of you who are watching reruns of this episode, what we're doing is we're using a website called paraNORMALity, and we are going through the ABCs of paranormal. So we are in the A's still. This is going to be a very long set of seasons. So very exciting. And today we're going to be talking about astrology. I don't know. I have never done anyone's charts. I've never really studied astrology. I just know my own horoscope. I just know, it's always so accurate for me, and it's been pretty accurate for my family members and my friends. So it is an interesting subject. What do you think about astrology?
I was crazy about astrology in high school. I actually got this book that was very like plain English, descriptions of all of like, what does your Mars mean? What does your Venus mean? And like you could sort it out pretty quickly from this book from your birth date. And so I was going around doing it for all of my friends, all of my family. And at that point, I had all of that knowledge just in my head. And I still have some of it. Like I'm still fairly good at saying, oh, well, you're a Sagittarius. Of course, you're fiery and, you are obstinate. But like I'm a Pisces.
Yeah.
But my rising, do you know rising?
Some of it I know. I just know every time I read it, damn, yeah, that's exactly what I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So rising is kind of like what happens, your Saturn rising when you're like in your late 20s, you go through that from like 28 to 31. That's about when your rising sign starts to take over from your sun sign. So like my rising is actually Virgo, which is the opposite side to Pisces of the scale of the circle. So like I've gone from being this like really, really pretty laid back, like I don't really mind if the house is messy, everything's just chill, dude, kind of person to like, I put that there yesterday. Where did it go? What happened to it?
Babe, I think your mic's hitting on the shell on your necklace.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Maybe tuck your necklace in. Yeah. I think it's just rubbing on the shell. Sounds amazing. Some nice ASMR for our listeners.
We'll record that.
I've had that happen before in a recording studio. I was in a studio for a whole morning recording. No. Got home and I was like, what the hell is that? And it was like either an earring or something or a necklace. It just made like a ding, ding. And it was just, I couldn't use any of the recordings. I was like, for God's sake, no. It's the worst ever. But yeah, so you've had quite an experience with astrology. So your star sign is?
Pisces.
So describe Pisces to us.
Pisces are very laid back, very go with the flow. The sign is fish. Yeah. And so you're very, very flexible, very emotional people. And the interesting thing about Pisces, and I know a bit more about Pisces because it's mine, obviously, but Pisces seems to be very different in men and women.
Yeah. Yes, it does seem to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, in the way that it manifests. So like Pisces men, and I actually think it's the same it's two sides of the same coin essentially, because like it's just being highly sensitive and highly emotional and very in tune with your emotions, but yet because of I can't quite understand if it's because of our social conditioning that like men react to it differently. So men tend to be a bit more explosive if they're Pisces, a bit more like less, like a bit more oppositional, if that makes sense.
More like Aquaman, less free willy.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Or flipper, like.
Yeah, like more just like let's go, let's do this, like action oriented. But that's very yang in general, anyways. Whereas women, we tend to be more like, oh, that really hurt my feelings. I'm feeling everything. And like, it's very interesting since my rising Virgo has taken over, like gradually, I feel like that less and less and less.
Wow.
Whereas I was just like a raw nerve. until I
Well,
was
I
like
would love you to
28.
do something for me. I'd love to for you to do mine if you can, even if it's just as you can. Because
Yeah.
so I was born in 1980, and I am October the 7th, so I'm a Libra. But I
Mm.
have found I've turned 40 this year. There's a shift that's happened this year in me. Now, I don't know if that's a combination of I've started doing my diploma in clinical hypnotherapy. So I've had a lot of hypnotherapy to help with trauma
Mm.
from the past. So I've been healing chronic pain I don't have anymore, healing emotional issues that don't come up anymore. So I've had a lot of therapy in that sense. But
Mm.
I feel like there's been a shift this year. This year, I changed from being just me to being me, just with a whole lot more purpose and focus and passion and ability to really finish projects and see things through to the end, which I've always irritated myself over in the past.
Mm.
So I would love to know, something more about me particularly, because I've never really looked into that really deeply.
Yeah. Well,
But
Libras
I
are really
fit the bill as a
interesting.
Libra for through and through, like
You are
everything has
definitely a
to balance.
Libra. Like every
Everything. I balance chaos and happiness, love and sadness, finance and brokenness. Everything's balanced. And it's like, it can actually drive me batty. I have to remember that life
Mm.
isn't balanced. You have to be okay with a bit of a skewed floor every now and then. But
Well, not
very
only that,
flirty, very
yeah,
flirty, but very
life of the
loyal to my
party.
partners. So like I don't cheat or anything, but I'm very friendly, very connected.
Mm.
I love eye contact and chatting and working the floor, and then I'm exhausted and I go home and I just want to go in a shell for like a month. But and then I also know all the weak sides of Libra as well. The fact that we can't follow things through. We really struggle to take a stand on anything, which again, this year I'm finding it easier to do. Like the whole live your truth, hashtag live your truth. And, taking a stand on my beliefs and who I am and my sexuality and my gender and all that stuff. Never
Mm.
before. I was never able to really take that definitive stand. So,
Because
yeah.
Libras are people pleasers
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
in
Very
and
much.
like want to stay till the end of the party. They're very like, like almost I always see Libras as like the ultimate in FOMO. Like
Oh, yeah.
like Libras are just like, I need to be part of everything.
I know. I die.
Yeah.
I sit at home and I look at all the events and I'm like, I could be there.
I
Why do
know.
And then I'll see photos, like my worst. And I love all of you people out there. Okay. All my friends who post these photos of you guys smiling with the camera, having a lovely time. I'm sitting there like under a rock going, why am I not doing it? Why are they having so much fun? And I'm not. But the thing is, I chose to stay home like a fat lard and sit on the couch and watch my girlfriend play, GTA, whatever it's called. So I'm making all these choices to just be a hermit, but I get it, total FOMO, like every day of my life, like for everything, even stuff out of the country. I'm like, ugh,
yeah, you like, I could have been there, but you don't really want to be there. Is the
I don't
thing?
really want to
You
do
just
the
don't want
hack.
to be left out. Yeah.
No, I don't want to hack 6Ks to be there. I do want to just be there, but I don't want to have to get there. Oh, it's so bad. The FOMO is real, man. It's real.
Yes, I dated a Libra. And,
you just called me out big time, like feeling very exposed.
Sorry. No, he was
True
such
story.
a Libra too. He was just like the biggest punk rocker, big mohawk, everything.
Beautiful.
Look at me, sort of like, but and like a musician as well, and So
I've only ever known one other male Libra. I've never met other Libras. So, and of all the men I've ever known, he was the most attractive. Like he just drew everyone's attention.
Yep.
He was a much older man, but just so cool, man. And everyone was just like, whoa, dude, like all the ladies just love him, all the guys love him, like, and he has no idea. He's just cruising because Libras don't know that they are looked at. It goes right over their heads.
It's because they're not focused on themselves as much as it looks like that from the outside, because they're wanting attention. It's more like Libras are looking outward.
Yeah,
they're very focused on what's going around them, what's going on with other people.
Yeah. And then for me, I'm just always wanting to help. Like I'm always wanting to like make sure everyone's okay. Are you okay? Can I help? Are you okay? Do you need a cuddle? Do you need to talk? Do you need food? Can I help you? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I have to say I've got a very soft spot for Libras because this ex of mine, he was just like the sweetest guy, but you'd never know it by just looking at him, like, because he seemed so like, I'm a cool like punk rocker. I've got the dog with the spike collar and everything, and like, but then we'd like hang out and he'd be like, how are you feeling? Are
Yeah.
you okay? Can I get you anything?
Yeah, which is so perfect for
coolest
Pisces,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, I really want to be taken care of.
Too funny. All right. So let's hop across before we forget to have a look at the description on paranormality. So let's do that quickly. Okay. So I'm going to make this full screen. We're going to read it together.
Okay.
Astrology is a form of fortune telling or counseling for the individual, which is done through the interpretation of the motions, movements, and positions of celestial objects. The most common known form of astrology is based around the zodiac. Depending upon when an individual is born, he or she is allotted a star sign, a symbol denoting an animal or object or both, which corresponds to various patterns of celestial objects. There are 12 star signs in total, and there is one for each month of the year in which an individual is born. So that is something really worth looking into, guys. If you are interested in astrology, head over to paranormality.com and you can click on all of those. So let's have a look at zodiac. So it is an imaginary belt-shaped region in the heavens, 16 degrees broad or 18 degree broad, in the middle of which is the ecliptic or sun's path. It is made up of and divided into 12 constellations or signs for astrological purposes. Okay. So that is something we all know. We know that when you're born, you are assigned a star sign. You have a birth sign. I know that the Chinese zodiac is very different to that. So yeah, tell me a little bit about your family if you would like to. Like, what is your daughter? What is your partner? And how has that affected your family dynamic? Has it done that at all?
Yeah, it's very interesting because like because my husband's a Gemini, and
Okay.
so anytime I've ever looked up like these like clickbait things that go,
Yeah.
what's your best star sign? And I'm like, let me see. And it's like Gemini and Pisces, bad. Very bad. But yet, like what I find, because Gemini can be, well, like they're the two faces looking away from each other, so they're almost like two different people. And like you see that, and it's like it's not a purposeful thing at all. It's very much like he is this very caring, understanding, sweet, like loving person. But then on the other side, he's also very like he can be very like zen, disconnected guy. Like like a monk almost.
Oh,
It's
wow.
so yeah, it's really, I mean, we'll get to past lives, but he reckons in a past life he was a monk.
Wow.
But like it's very easy for him to slip back and forth between these two kind of people, if you will. And so that's actually, I think it's taught me a lot, the whole like the Zen part of him. I've learned so much. As a Pisces, I'm just like, I feel everything. I remember literally when I was a kid waking up in the middle of the night just sobbing because I could feel the pain of the world.
Oh, baby.
Like legitimately.
Oh, man, that is so cute.
I know. I was like 5. And I woke up and my mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, what 5-year-old has the words to explain? Like, I literally had a dream where I was seeing like splashes of like different scenes in the world. I don't know if it was like a movie I'd seen or if I was truly having a psychic event where I could see different people around the world who were in pain, but I legitimately could feel all of it.
Yeah,
I know.
That's so cute. But it's so interesting. It's really interesting. And we could have, say, including us, 12 people all talking about their experiences as each of the zodiac, just a phenomenal thing. And people can say what they like, but when you do look into it, it's accurate. It's really accurate. And there are some people who believe that we don't just fall into the month of birth by chance. We're in the month of birth because that's the month that our souls function in. And that is, we get the similar personality sort of traits in that space. And we just keep coming back for new lives within the October space. So that's why we end up with Libra traits, because that's the type of soul that we're learning. That's what we're learning as that soul. So
that's really interesting.
yeah, I don't know if I articulated it properly, but I mean, just learning about souls coming back. So that's the zodiac that we ascribe to in Western culture. Yeah, so see, people are saying that the past life, sort of, and future life, the soul travels. They travel within a specific star sign always, and they're developing those traits, and then they go to the next to develop the next set of traits. And yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah,
So my ex-partner was a Scorpio, I was Libra, and that was a very, very bad combo.
they're right next to each other. Oh my god.
Such a bad combo. And both nice people, but it's just not healthy at all. Whereas now my other partner, there's Virgo and Libra, and there's definite better connections there. So it's a way better suited connection, and there's a lot of similarities in nature, which make that a lot easier to do. So yeah, interesting. And my kids, they know their star signs, and often we sort of look at those really funny ones on Facebook where they'll have different puppies to do with the star signs, or like different beverages or mood swings, and it's often really accurate. And so we all kind of ha ha ha, but it's like exposing, throwing shade on each other. Like, yeah, we know our weaknesses, and yeah, quite phenomenal. So I've had a little bit of a chat with Louise O'Donnelly. So she's the Wandering Minstrel. She's a musician. She's all over the world and based out of the coast. And I remember chatting with her, and oh my God, she's so knowledgeable. Like, when someone is so knowledgeable about a subject, it just flows. And I was just like, whoa, I'm like, I can't go that fast. Like, you're so switched on. And so she knows about all the different things to do with astrology, quite phenomenally so. The minute she knew the month of my birth, she was able to like spout out all this stuff. And I was like, whoa, okay. This moon rising, that moon, this ascending, that. I'm like, what? Okay.
Oh, wow.
Just
That's impressive.
Yeah. So it might be worth chatting with her as well.
Yeah. I often find like sometimes there are subjects that you come across and you're like, I haven't studied this that much, but yet I seem to know like a lot of information, which is just incredible. I don't, like, obviously that's sort of some sort of claircognition or something where like you've maybe studied it in the past life, or you just are connected to that really strongly. Yeah. It's funny you say that about the Facebook thing, because my daughter's a Scorpio. And so I once saw this thing. It was like Scorpio represented, and it was like a faucet with fire coming out of it. Because they're a water sign, but they're just so fiery.
Yeah. And then again with Scorpio, your male, female are very different. So your female is quite protective as a partner, but super giving. Whereas the male Scorpio has a lot of hidden things. They hide a lot of stuff. And which causes a bit of trust issues in the relationship, because you never really get a full answer out of them in any way. Whereas, you need some certain people need that level of openness. Like for me, honesty is everything. Like, I need to know everything you thought about, what you want to have for lunch, what you said to your cousin in 2002. Like, I got to know the whole thing, because I'm just so invested.
I'm the same. I'm exactly the same.
I can't handle it. I'm like, oh no, it does my head in.
It's actually really funny, because that's a bone of contention with me and Ryan. Not like a serious one, but like he's like, you're just so honest. Like, you're just too honest with people, Erin. They don't need to know that level of what happened in your day. I'm like, but I'm just being really open.
We used to call it the overshare zone, where you just like, you're already in, and then you're like, oh God, I'm in the overshare zone. Like, oh, I gotta go back. But it's too late. You've like shared too much info. TMI zone. I've got a friend, it's my oldest's godmother. She lives in the UK, and we were very close back in South Africa a long time ago. And she was just constantly in the TMI zone. Like, she lived in the overshare zone, and it was so bad. I knew so much stuff about her that I really didn't need to know. Like, so much stuff. And I would see her husband just like, because he's like being
What are you
exposed.
doing? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool.
And then
Oh,
I'm like, tell me about your day.
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we're gonna head off.
Yeah, I think that's all for today. I think it's a very interesting topic, and like we say every week, this isn't really like a all knowledgeable show. This is more us just touching base on each subject and going, yeah, this is what we've experienced. Do we think it's real? Yeah. Do we think it's real? And then that's for you to kind of go on and do some research and do some reading and find out about your star sign. If you're watching, please comment down below what your star sign is. That would be so cool. And any sort of traits that you know that you have or that your family members have, or yeah, let us know. That would be really awesome. But in the meantime, have an awesome weekend. And thanks, Erin, for joining me again. It's so cool
Thanks.
always to hang out with you.
Alright.
Yeah, and we've got next week. I just want to have a quick look and see what we have got. Ooh, next week we're talking about Atlantis.
Ooh, I feel like this is right up your alley.
Oh, yes, boy. I'm so excited. All right. Bye, guys.
Akira, thank you.
All right. Bye.